In today's show, we're going to talk a little bit more about kefir, something that I'm sure many of you are doing. I admit I'm a little late to the kefir party. My friend Cam Straw gave me some kefir grains over the summer, and I've been making kefir pretty much 3 to 4 days per week. It's always in the fridge. I'm a huge fan of it, and fermented products of all kinds. I've been making my own sauerkraut and kimchi for a long time, making my own sourdough bread and yogurt, but kefir is amazing. And I want to share with you not just my excitement, but some of the research. And here's a research review titled Milk Kefir, Nutritional, Microbiological, and Health Benefits that was published in the journal Nutrition Research Reviews in 2017. A really great review all about kefir. And I think what's really cool about this is the name kefirs derive from the Slavic meaning well-being or well-living due to the overall sense of health and well-being generated in those who consume it. Kefir differs from other fermented products because it is produced from kefir grains that comprise a specific and complex structure of lactic acid and acetic acid producing bacteria and lactose fermenting and non-fermenting yeast, which live in a symbiotic association. As you can see here, the kefir grains pictured in figure 1. What's unique is these kefir grains are in this kefir right here. I haven't yet filtered this out. I wanted you to see it's kind of in between milk and yogurt in its consistency. I love it because I used to spend a lot of money on kombucha. I just love the carbonation, but now I just drink a little bit of kefir to get that carbonation that I can crave at times without all the sugar. What I think is unique about kefir is the fermentation aspect of it, just like yogurt. There's all this controversy over raw dairy, and Campylobacter and Listeria and Salmonella in this, but it seems more likely that humans have been consuming fermented dairy products for a while because there was no refrigeration, back, even just several hundred years ago, needless to say, tens of thousands of years ago, because there's prehistoric cave paintings of humans dairying cattle and so on, going back to, to at least 20,000 years. There's milk paint remnants in archaeological art and so forth, going back 40,000 years ago. So, we've been domesticating cattle at least for 8,000 years, probably consuming milk products for longer than that, or at least that amount of time. But it seems a little bit more reasonable that humans would ferment the milk products so that we could consume them for longer periods of time. And kefir is great because you can just leave this on the counter. Some people have it continuously fermenting, and I'll share with you momentarily how to make this yourself and some of the protocols and so on. But first, I just want to thank you for being here. Hopefully you're enjoying the content. And if you are, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you get updated when we launch new videos like this. Now, since we're talking about gut health and metabolic health, I just want to remind you of the Berberine Fasting Accelerator by Myoscience. You've heard me say before many times, berberine has a great safety record, a long history of use, 3,000 years of use in traditional Chinese medicine, as well as Ayurvedic medicine. It supports metabolic health by way of the gut microbiome, and the gut incretin hormones like GLP-1 and CCK and beyond. So the best way to take berberine is 30 minutes before major meals, usually before breakfast or before dinner. I advise my clients generally to take it in the evening time before dinner to help kickstart your evening fast and curb food cravings that can derail your metabolic health. So you can go on over to myoscience.com where you can see well over 300 reviews from people just like you. We source one of the cleanest berberine raw materials on the market. It's high potency, and I think you will benefit from it. You can use the code podcast to save over at myoscience.com. So kefir is fantastic. Here's what you do. You take some raw milk. I put it in a jar like this with my kefir grains. You can get it from a friend, or you can go to a company called culturesforhealth.com. I have no financial affiliation with them, although I probably should create an affiliate link just because, but I think they make good products. But go to culturesforhealth.com, get your kefir grains, put some kefir grains there. I put a paper towel on the top with a rubber band to prevent fruit flies and all these things from getting in there. I leave it out on my kitchen table near the wood stove, and just keep it out for between 18 and 24 hours. And what's unique about the kefir grains is they just convert the milk into this probiotic bacteria and probiotic yeast enriched yogurt-like substance that has a tang to it and makes you feel good. We're near the end of January, haven't been sick in well over a year. I consume yogurt, raw milk, kefir all the time. Also go in the sauna and do a lot of other things. So there's confounding variables there, but I really think there's something to this. So I take it before I travel. before a stressful day, after a hard workout. I think it's really good for your immune system. So that's the cool thing about that. But they go on to say in this paper, how is kefir produced? Well, it's produced from whole, semi-skimmed or skimmed pasteurized cow milk, goat, sheep, camel, or buffalo milk. Kefir from cow's milk is the most common form. Kefir grains can be added to the fermentation substrate as a starter culture. They say, although there is an ideal relationship between the grains and the fermentation substrate, in practice, the measures are made empirically. Fermentation typically occurs at the temperature range between 8 and 25 degrees centigrade in a particularly closed manner between the hours of 10 and 40 hours. I found it's sort of like a SCOBY. If you've ever seen kombucha being made, like that SCOBY, you sort of get a SCOBY layer on top, then you just shake it up. And I use a stainless steel filter. We'll cut to some B-roll and I can show you how we filter it out. And the kefir's grains come out and then you have the kefir in the bottom, and that's what you store in a separate container. And then you just keep feeding the kefir culture with raw milk. Now, you could probably use pasteurized milk, but I don't know if it's going to work. There's no guarantee there. I think it's much better than what you're going to buy at the store. Now, in terms of the beneficial bacteria and vitamins, let's talk about what this paper says. Among the minerals, kefir is a good source of magnesium, calcium, and additionally minerals such as zinc, copper, molybdenum, iron, cobalt, and molybdenum are found in milk kefir. Lactic acid bacteria are also found in there, as well as a variety of different flavonoids and polyphenolic compounds, which I think are really interesting. They also say the vitamin content depends on the quality of the milk used, the microorganisms present in the kefir grains, and the way that it's prepared. Kefir presents vitamin B1, B2, B5, vitamin C, vitamin A, and vitamin K, and carotene in its composition, according to Lewitt et al. And the concentration of pyridoxine, which is B6, vitamin B12, and folic acid, biotin, thiamine, increase during the fermentation process. So as we've talked about before, raw farm milk from animals that are grazing grass on pasture is going to be enriched in polyphenolic compounds and micronutrients and so on. And so the better your milk source is, I work with, we buy milk from a local dairy, who, these cattle graze pasture year round. So I think that's really interesting. So for digestion, one of the things that I've noticed is over the years, sometimes you can have GI issues. I know it sounds like I'm just being super anecdotal, but since adding kefir to my diet, bowel movements are way more consistent and regular, I would just say, especially around travel. So I think there's really something there. Now, that is confounded by the fact that I do sourdough bread periodically. I make my own yogurt. And so there's all sorts of good bacteria going on. But I think fermented raw dairy has tons of gut health related benefits. Here's table 1, all of the different species of the microbiota found in kefir and its grains, from lactobacilli to streptococci to other bacillus type strains, beneficial yeast here. I mean, the list goes on and on. And so, as you know, I have a supplement company. I sell probiotics all day long. I would suggest you do raw kefir before spending money on a probiotic, right? You can spend $30 a month on a probiotic, or you can spend $30 a month on kefir. I would much rather have individuals spend money on whole food when possible. Now, when it comes to things like electrolytes and creatine, it's hard to get all of that in a convenient dosing from whole food. But when it comes to probiotics, it's really going to be hard to get all of the benefits in one pill that you can get from this whole food substance. So I'm all about the food matrix and whole food when possible, but supplementing, around exercise like creatine. You're not going to eat a steak while you're working out. So that's why it makes sense to supplement with creatine, for example. You're probably not going to have a ribeye in your car on the way home from the gym if you did a hard workout. So whey protein is beneficial in that situation. So I think context really, really matters. But kefir is amazing. All I got to say is you should try it. You should try to make this at home. Try to buy it in glass jars if you can. In the state of California, they're still selling raw kefir at grocery stores, which is interesting. Kefir has been informally recommended in other countries for the reduction of chronic diseases, including gastrointestinal diseases, metabolic disorders, high blood pressure, weight loss, and allergies. And so this is recommended for people in various countries throughout the world. There's What I think is really interesting, the antimicrobial properties of kefir. The investigators go on to say antibacterial properties of kefir are related to the combination of several factors, including competition for available nutrients and the inherent action of organic acids, hydrogen peroxide, acetaldehyde, carbon dioxide, and bacteriocins produced during the fermentation process. These substances also exhibit similar effects to those of nutraceuticals, preventing gastrointestinal disorders. Kefir exerts bactericidal effects on gram-negative bacteria. However, it is more potent against gram-positive bacteria. The antagonistic action has been observed against bacteria such as Salmonella, Shigella, Helicobacter, Escherichia coli, Enterobacter, Proteus, Bacillus subtilis, Micrococcus, Listeria, Streptococcus, and against Candida albicans. So in brief, kefir has loads of antimicrobial properties. It's more enriched in micronutrients, B vitamins, minerals, probiotic bacteria. There's really no reason why you shouldn't be having kefir and include this in your diet. I'm not sure why you're not. It would be interesting to look at the glycemic index and the insulinogenic index of kefir versus raw milk. To the best of my knowledge, that hasn't been studied, but there have been several health benefits linked to kefir consumption in healthy humans, as is depicted by table 3 here. So in diabetic individuals, kefir was determined to decrease fasting blood glucose and hemoglobin A1C levels. Another study found in individuals with healthy overweight or obese postmenopausal women, kefir drink led to similar weight loss compared to low-fat milk. Individuals with constipation, they noticed in a 4-week clinical trial reduction in constipation. In a 2-week study, the kefir drink in individuals that had fluoride rinse, this was, I think, for dental caries or something, they found that kefir drink could inhibit salivary mutans, streptococci, as well as sodium fluoride rinses. Kefir may be used in caries control strategies adjunctively. I guess there was one study that looked at the inflammatory response in healthy adults. I'm not sure what biomarkers were looked at. This was a 2013 study. Maybe we'll do another video on that. I just think the research is actually pretty impressive, my friend. So again, I know I sound like I'm making money off kefir. I don't. I don't have any financial affiliation here. I just get excited about something that is a whole food substance that has health benefits. I think you should give it a try. You can start out by going to culturesforhealth.com. If I do get a coupon code or a discount, I will let you know in the description in the link below. I don't have one at present, but they're a good company too. I have purchased some sourdough starter culture grains from them. And then you can also get yogurt, starter bacteria. They're a pretty cool company out of North Carolina, I believe. But in closing here is an amazing figure. This is figure 3, a schematic showing all of the immunomodulatory properties of kefir affecting the gram-negative and gram-positive bacteria, affecting lipopolysaccharide, affecting butyrate metabolism, leading to a reduction in blood pressure, affecting blood sugar control, and beyond. So it's really impressive. I think you should give it a try. If you're not consuming kefir, but you do try, let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, I'm grateful that you tuned in to the very end. Appreciate your likes, your comments, your shares, sharing this video with a friend to inspire them to make kefir grains part of their healthy, whole food, omnivorous style diet plan. And we'll catch you on a future episode down the road.